We begin tonight with the details of the governor's executive order. Let's take a look at the exemptions that will be in place for the next week. The first exemption applies to all law enforcement and other medical personnel and other emergency response teams, as well as credentialed media members. Now, the second exemption is for people traveling to and from work or religious services. If you are a delivery driver or a trucker, you are exempt as well. Those operating a private business or seeking medical care are also allowed under the new rules. After Governor Doug Ducey issued a statewide curfew this evening, Tucson Mayor Regina Romero and Police Chief Chris Magnus held a press conference for how they will implement this new rule. News 4 Tucson's Mark Mangura has the details.
Mayor Romero and Chief Magnus first heard about the statewide curfew on Twitter. Although they had been already talking about implementing one here in Tucson, they say that they would have preferred better communication from the governor.
With the curfew starting at 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. each day for the next week, what does that mean for businesses?
So we have gotten some questions right away from business owners. Does this mean that I have to shut down at 8 o'clock every day? The governor's order does not require that. Businesses can still operate and people can still patronize those businesses even after 8 p.m.
As far as what will be shut down, TPD will focus their forces on the areas they feel need it the most.
We are only going to direct resources to the areas where we have seen problems in our community, which is the downtown area, 4th Avenue and Main Gate.
Governor Ducey has offered the National Guard as assistance if needed, but at this time, the city of Tucson has not requested their assistance. We've got you covered. I'm Mark Mangura, News 4 Tucson.
In our continued team coverage tonight, News 4 Tucson's David Kelly is getting reaction to Governor Ducey's curfew, which began at 8 this evening. He joins us live from downtown with the latest. David.
Thanks, Danelle. Let me tell you a little bit and show you a little bit about what Governor Doug Ducey meant when he said you can be out past 8. As you can see, there were folks dining here on Main Gate Square after the curfew hour hit just a few hours ago. And if you want to order food, you can go out and pick that up. Takeout and dine in, they are deemed purposeful trips. The state curfew is meant to shut down loitering. How is this going over with residents here in Tucson? Well, let's just say not very well.
The curfew is sort of a protest to our protest, and it's not fair.
And I kind of thought that it was an attack on the protesters that are going on right now, and I think it's really unprofessional of Doug Ducey to not stand up for his citizens.
The curfew at 8 o'clock is honestly really dumb because the coronavirus, did everybody just forget about that? Like, the governor didn't say anything about a curfew then.
Yeah, and speaking of protesters, we had a little bit of a pop-up protest here on the corner of University and Euclid earlier today. And as we come back out here outside General Ben's, as you can see behind me, I'll turn this way. Actually, there are some folks still dining. The restaurant did, though, close at 10 o'clock tonight. And I reached out to several businesses here on Main Gate Square to get an idea of how this curfew is going to affect their mode of operation. Unfortunately, all of those businesses tonight declined to comment. We've got you covered here on Main Gate Square. I'm David Kelly, News 4 Tucson.